Hey everyone, welcome to Cross Culture Critic. I'm Chris.
And I'm Joe.
Welcome to the show. Joe, we're almost there. We're almost at Christmas.
We are almost at Christmas.
It's crazy. Today is December 15th. My schoolwork is done as of today. And so we're recording this before December 15th, and I'm hoping it's done. But yeah.
And I will have just, I have just gotten back from Hawaii.
You look relaxed.
I am. I am. You know, I'm buff. While I was in Hawaii, I decided to get an 8-pack of abs.
Nice.
So I got abs, and yeah, so I look amazing.
I thought about doing that too. Then I settled for the keg, and it's nice. So.
I think I'll probably go back to that.
So yeah, we are here. I hope you enjoyed our last episode where we talked Christmas music. Today we're talking Christmas movies. I am excited about this.
Yeah,
this
well, you're the big movie buff.
I am it. I love Christmas movies. Yeah. I go nuts this time of year. I get really frustrated, actually, because my work as a critic, this time of year is when all the award contenders are starting to come out.
Okay.
So I have to spend like the first few weeks of December watching award screeners.
Oh, poor guy.
Well, but I'm not watching Christmas movies.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I'm watching all this stuff, and I just want to be watching like Home Alone or something. And so I can't wait till I'm done voting and getting my end of year list up, and then I can just watch Christmas movies. Although it's December 15th, which means Star Wars is out today too.
Ooh.
So that's another big one. We promised our son we'd take him to see that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
I really hope so. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, me too.
So, but back to Christmas movies. I thought we'd open our icebreaker with something you had talked about briefly on Cal Cagno's show recently.
Okay.
You talked briefly about people who claim Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
In terms of basically want to say, hey, it's not, when they want to be all cool about it and say, oh, I love Die Hard. And
right. What's your favorite Christmas
already
movie?
beaten you to the punch.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd ask, what do you think about claiming movies like Die Hard and Gremlins and stuff as Christmas movies? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
Okay.
I don't think a Christmas movie to me is a movie that you're using the Christmas spirit to overcome whatever obstacle is in that movie. So whatever the hurdle is in that movie, whether it's you got to get home to see your family, you have to save Santa so Christmas can still happen. It has to deal with Christmas. If it hits all those, then by all means, it's a Christmas movie. But just because Die Hard was, it was a Christmas party, like an office Christmas party, and terrorists take over Nakatomi Plaza or whatever it's called. The movie itself is about Bruce Willis stopping these terrorists. It has nothing to do with the Christmas spirit.
Does it, though? Because on Christmas,
it doesn't.
We are trying to get home to our families. We are trying to reunite with our families. And what says family love more than, going after the terrorists who are separating you and your wife one night on Christmas Eve?
Well, again, that can be the plot. Again, I want to go back to what I think the basis of a Christmas movie is. And if maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm forgetting what the actual plot of Die Hard is.
You don't watch Die Hard every year?
I don't.
What?
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm not even the gun guy, and I watch Die Hard every year.
I don't, but is he trying to get home to his family for Christmas?
He is reuniting with his estranged wife at her Christmas party. In L.A., he's from New York.
But again,
he's trying to save his marriage, which it happens. Christmas musical.
Right. I mean, I'll go back to my basis where I think a Christmas movie is in the spirit of Christmas, of giving, of sacrifice, of love that revolves around the Christmas spirit. You're overcoming whatever obstacle. If that's what it is in Die Hard, I don't remember it being that.
It's not.
Okay, then I will stick with that. Gremlins. With you bringing Gremlins up, I honestly haven't seen Gremlins in 30 years.
Oh gosh, that's another one every year. Okay, now I will caveat by saying I do watch Die Hard every Christmas. Not because it's a Christmas movie necessarily, but because I just love Die Hard. It is one of my favorite movies.
See, I like the later ones that nobody else likes.
No! Oh gosh.
I like the ones where first they shut off all the street lights, and so there was
I do dig
gridlock.
that one. I like that one.
Like that
the Russia one, I hate.
I don't think I
With
saw
his
that
son.
one.
Oh, it's terrible. But I like Die Hard. I watch it every Christmas, mainly just because it reminds me to watch Die Hard. And it's not it's more of a holiday because it takes place at Christmas. You kind of like the Christmas music and the lights. I don't know that I would go as far as to claim it's a Christmas movie. See, I do that kind of ironically.
And that's what I think. Like, I think if somebody did a movie about Jeffrey Dahmer, and in one scene he's hanging Christmas lights, and then it goes out and gets like another victim because it was around Christmas time that he killed somebody. It doesn't make that a Christmas movie. Like, again, I think it has to encompass the spirit of Christmas, and whatever problem that is in the movie, it has to be overcome with. It has to be, defeated with the spirit of love and Christmas, or Christ, which is, the reason for Christmas, those types of things.
Or explosions.
Yeah.
Die Hard, as much as I want to say yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I've said it before, I think you're right. I might go to bat for Gremlins simply because everything around that movie hinges on a Christmas gift that is given to a kid that goes wrong and he has to set it all right. And Gremlins really leans into the look of Christmas movie. It's more ironic.
Yeah, now that you're mentioning it, I do remember from didn't the one dude's dad die because he tried to come down? He tried to come down the chimney
as Santa Claus. There's caroling gremlins at one point. It leans into the Christmas feel a little bit more. Die Hard could take place at any time. Anytime you need a guy to go to his wife's office. I would almost wonder if Die Hard 2 is more of a Christmas movie, because it's snowy at least.
Okay.
But, I will never pass up an excuse to watch Die Hard. I've seen it, every Christmas for the last 10 years. Gremlins, I would probably go more to bat. Lethal Weapon's another one that gets left off. That takes place at Christmas time.
Really?
Yep, and I might even argue that one brings friends together. That is a movie about togetherness and, a little Christmas miracle there. But no, I think people just like to sound like smartasses.
Yeah, exactly. People don't want to do the It's a Wonderful Life, which, coincidentally, I've never seen.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
I've never seen it. I'm going to see it this year. I will see it this year, but I've never seen that movie. But, yeah, people just try. It's just the way our society is. People try to, do the little things that aren't normal Christmas and, whatever.
Well, here's the thing. Is some writer on the internet got a bunch of hits by saying Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever. And now everyone does it.
Sure.
And that's what it comes
the joke
down
is
to.
old and played out, yeah.
Yep, joke's old and played out. I will still watch Die Hard this Christmas just because.
And maybe I'll watch Gremlins.
I think you should. Gremlins is a great movie.
But there are tons. I can't wait for us to start talking about other Christmas movies that we like, because there are some very, very good ones out there.
And you know what sucks? I was thinking about this now. I have kids, and that's not what sucks. But they don't get new Christmas specials or movies. I can't remember the last Christmas. Maybe Elf was the last real Christmas movie. And TV specials, they still are watching the same stuff I watched.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I like watching it with them.
Like Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas is great.
Yeah.
That is definitely an all-timer. My son loves it. But yeah, they don't have anything like that anymore.
Yeah, the one I always, starting to talk about the movies that we like, the one that I found last year that I hadn't seen in, I'm 40 years old, I probably haven't seen it in 32 years, is one that used to be on TV around Christmas. You can play it in its entirety on YouTube, but it's a movie, I think it's called The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever.
I remember that book from
school. And it's orphan kids.
And they're uncouth.
Yeah,
right?
So there's the church youth group kids, and then they're the bad kids, and so
the urchins.
Yeah, so this one family were the bad kids. Their dad was an alcoholic and all this stuff. Well, the church says, "Hey, why don't we befriend these kids and invite them to youth group?" So when they come to the little church youth group, they're going to be doing their Christmas pageant. They explain the story of Christmas, and the little grubby kids. The little dirty girl, she wants to play Mary, and the boy wants to play Joseph and all that stuff. And so it's how this thing goes and kind of falls apart and gets put back together last minute. And that was one that I loved watching growing up. Every year I loved watching it. And for years and years and years, there's no YouTube, there's none of that stuff. Could never see it. And last year I just happened to look it up, saw that it was on YouTube, played YouTube through the television, so put it on the TV, and watched it with my girls, and they loved it. Nice. And so it's like stood the test of time, and they thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. We did the same exact thing with A Muppet Family Christmas. This is a special, like a lot of people forget about it. It was like 1986 or 87, I want to say. And it was one of the last Muppet things Jim Henson did. Okay. And so it's basically the Muppets, and we've talked about this before. I'm a huge Muppet guy.
Yeah, me too.
And so the Muppets are going to Fozzie's mom's house for Christmas. All of them are going there, and she's planning to go on vacation, so she's rented it out to Doc and Sprocket from Fraggle Rock. And then while they're there, the Sesame Street characters come in.
Oh, wow.
And the Fraggles are there.
I don't remember this.
Oh, my gosh. It is so good.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube because what happened is Jim Henson died a few years later, and the rights for all these went 10 different directions. So, like, Disney got the Muppets, but PBS still had Sesame Street, and HBO had Fraggle Rock. So they couldn't really, like, even the stuff that made it to DVD or something was hacked apart. Okay. Because there's Muppet Babies in there. Well, Muppet Baby rights are owned by someone else. So they're cut out of the DVD. Okay. And it's, like, so the only way you can see the uncut version is YouTube right now. And it's so good. Like, it's funny. So there's, like, the Swedish chef, and he's trying to get Christmas dinner, and then he sees Big Bird. So he's trying to, like, cook Big Bird the whole movie. The music is really good.
Oh, I'm going to watch that.
Oh, it's so good. And the great thing about it on YouTube, like, I don't even think I would buy a DVD because the YouTube version is taped off someone's TV.
So you get the commercials.
All the commercials are in there.
It's the same thing with the greatest Christmas pageant ever.
Yeah. It's like it's like a time machine. Yeah. You got Oshkosh Bagosh and
Sanka.
There's all these weird TV movies that people have forgotten about. Like there's this weird Three Wise Men in Modern Day. Like I think they're mental patients or something. That is really good. And my son loves it because he loves the Muppets. I've indoctrinated him in that. And
see, I love the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, I do like that.
I watch that every year, have that, DVD. I think I even have the Blu-ray of it, and that's one that I love. I got robbed one year. I was at the store and I grabbed a Muppet Christmas. Muppet Christmas movie that was made after Jim Henson died.
Yeah,
it was terrible. And I thought it was the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Is that the one where Whoopi Goldberg is playing God? And,
yes.
Like David Arquette shows up to do
it. And it was like when the Muppets had that one guy who was like a catfish.
Yeah.
Like a purple catfish guy. It was terrible.
We have that because I think I made the same mistake. I think it was like $5 at Target.
Yeah.
Muppets, I love these.
Exactly. And you're like, well, I don't love these.
Oh, it's terrible.
And then I had to go out and then get the Muppet Christmas Carol, which I absolutely love.
Muppet Christmas Carol is awesome. I saw that in theaters.
Even Mickey's Christmas Carol. Like, I love watching that every year. Like, I'm not a Disney guy at all.
Oh, Mickey's Christmas Carol.
But I love that Mickey Christmas Carol.
We are a huge Christmas Carol family. My wife, her favorite author is Charles Dickens. So
do you go to Meadowbrook? Do you go to Meadowbrook Hall and see?
We didn't go to Meadowbrook. We went to Wayne State, though.
Okay.
And they do a very good version of it. And it's a lot cheaper than Meadowbrook.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, but the Wayne State one is really, really good. But we debate all the time about like which version of A Christmas Carol is best. Uh-huh. I tend to Muppets. I like the music. I like Michael Caine in that. Mm-hmm. But my wife got me into the George C. Scott version.
See, that's my mom's favorite.
That is a good version of that.
Yeah, that's my mom's. She would probably put that at the top of her list.
It's one of the few that's very accurate, like has all the creepy stuff from the book. So like the little like creepy kids who he comes across, the little orphans. I like that version a lot.
Yeah.
Did you see the Jim Carrey one they did a few years ago?
No.
Wasn't that good?
You mean The Grinch?
No. Oh, gosh. We're going to talk about The Grinch. But, no, this was by Robert Zemeckis, and it's one of those motion capture ones where it's like kind of like Polar Express style.
Okay.
And Jim Carrey played Scrooge, and I think he also played all the ghosts.
Mm.
And I remember liking it, but I have not wanted to see it again. But I remember that being pretty creepy. Yeah, Grinch is another one to talk about. I love the original Grinch, like the
The cartoon.
Yeah, Boris Karloff. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's silly and Looney Tunes. I saw the Grinch Ron Howard one once. And I
really? See, I actually like it. The one with Jim Carrey.
My wife loves it.
Yeah, I like it too. I may even say that I like it more than Elf.
Oh, no.
See, I think Elf is a great movie. I think it's hilarious. I think it goes a half hour too long.
I will say, okay, yes. Elf falls into that thing where I'm going to come back to the Grinch, though, because I have issues with that movie. But
Okay.
Elf is probably the last really good Christmas movie, I think, like that they put out in theaters. Last classic, I would say. And I think the first hour of that same thing is perfect. Like, so funny. I laugh every time. I love Will Ferrell. But yeah, it gets into that thing where all these Christmas movies end with, well, Santa won't fly if people don't believe in him.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of that.
Yeah,
and
that
it
whole
drags.
thing.
It's not very funny at that point.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I do kind of lose interest in that one. I the first hour of Elf I'm good with. And
Yeah.
the
That
last
same thing
half
with me.
hour.
It hits the 60-minute mark. I'm like, boop, next
They
movie.
hit Central Park and I'm done.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
I do think that.
Now back to Grinch. Why don't you like Grinch?
I think it's ugly. Like it is this, like, it looks like it's shot through like a dirty lens, and like everything is just kind of trashy looking, and it looks really fake. It looks to me like a stage show. So it looks to me like
I think that's
Universal
why I do
Studios
like it.
saw like a stage show of it, and I like Jim Carrey fine, like, and I think he's okay in it.
I think it reminds me of it does remind me of like a stage show, and like Dick Tracy. Remember Warren Beatty and Dick Tracy?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Like it was kind of like that. Like that was like a stage show, like a play that you're watching. And I think that's what I do like about the Grinch is that aspect of it. Like you see the cartoon, and I think when you look at the cartoon, it's like messy drawings. Like the cartoon is very sketchy.
Yeah.
I say sketchy, not meaning sketchy, but like sketched, and it's not crisp lines and a perfect cartoon. And I think the movie showed that as well. It made that dirty.
Yeah, it just never sat right with me. Especially like at the end, he supposedly changes, but he's still like smart alecking around. I'm like, whatever. It doesn't offend me or anything. But it's just one of those ones I don't watch. I would much rather go to Rudolph, which I still love.
The one with the claymation.
Oh yeah. That is.
Now there's two, right? There's like the one with the snow monster,
which is the good one,
and then there's one with Baby New Year, or is that a different?
There's one he did. There's a couple different that I.
Is the one with Baby New Year for New Year's, and then the Abominable Snowman is the one for Christmas, or did they make two Christmas ones, but the second Christmas one involved Baby New Year?
I feel like maybe even the Baby New Year one was like a crossover with Frosty or something. They're two different ones. I haven't seen the Baby New Year one in a long time. But I do watch the original one with the Abominable Snowman like every year. I love that.
Yeah, my kids got that like box set.
That's what we had with Frosty and everything.
Yeah, and it had all those that were done in that claymation, and I just got burned out on it growing, every year I remember there were like 2 Christmases in a row where my kids were little, like toddlers, and they would just want to, it's
Same
Valentine's Day, and it's like, put in Rudolph, and you're like, we've been watching Rudolph for 3 freaking months.
My kid is like that with Elf. Like Elf, he'll watch 5 times. Home Alone, that's the other one.
Love it.
I love Home Alone. I do not care for Home Alone 2.
I love it.
No.
1 and 2, absolutely love, and I might even take 2 over 1.
Really?
I think the last...
Well, you're a Trump supporter.
Well,
right?
yeah,
Trump
that is true.
So.
Well, I think 1 is a fantastic movie from start to finish. I think 2
is just like 1, the exact same movie.
But I think it's a little bit... So as far as the plot, like 1 is classic. 2 is good, but I think the laughs are better in 2. I think it's funnier things happen in 2 than in 1.
See, I feel like the first one I like because it feels very Christmassy. Like all the colors are warm and the traps are kind of, things you could cobble together at home. I remember watching Home Alone 2 a few years ago and really being disturbed. I'm like, this is where the Saw movies come from. like this is sadistic stuff. Like he's he's trying to murder these
guys.
Yeah. It didn't sit well with me. I'm sure it's better than, like, I think there's like 3 other ones.
Yeah, like when Macaulay wasn't in them anymore, I didn't see any of those.
I once checked out the Wikipedia plot descriptions for them, and like they get to the point where like Kevin's parents are divorced, so he's having Christmas at his dad's girlfriend's house.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
That's they take a dark turn for the McAllister family.
Kevin McAllister's dad was indicted on charges of child pornography. You're like, what? What?
Wow. Don't leave him
His
home
mother's
alone,
been dancing
Dad.
at the landing strip in Deja Vu to make Christmas ends meet.
Speaking of which, you know what other Christmas movie like has a really disturbing subtext is The Santa Claus. The Tim Allen movie?
Yeah.
I watched that again a few years ago. And it was fine. It was, Tim Allen's a likable guy. It's a funny movie. Not in real life. But, likable actor. I like him. But this whole subtext, like, he murders Santa Claus. He, like, kills Santa Claus. And then his kid
helps cover up
cover it up.
Yeah.
But, like, it cuts to a point where his kid is, like, mid-July. And his kid's in his room listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas and pretending to have reindeer. I'm like, this kid's having, like, a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, he's breaking with reality. And his dad is just, like, not worried that he's getting fat and bearded and hanging out with kids. It's a really warped little movie.
Yeah, it is goofy. I like... I'm not going to say they're the greatest thing, but that series, like there was a Santa Claus, a Santa Claus 2. I think there was even like Santa Claus 3 with like Martin Short.
Yep.
He was Jack Frost or something like that. Like those are just fun, mindless Christmas movies to watch, and I don't mind those at all in the slightest. I will watch those, but I think we were talking on the last podcast about music and stuff, and I brought up movies. And we quickly shut it down.
Yeah, you talked about the first one you watched.
Yeah, but is like on Thanksgiving, I like to eat my Thanksgiving, hang out with family, and then once people start to leave, I fire up the fireplace and Home Alone goes in.
That was the same thing.
And so,
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep, Home Alone kicks off my weekend. And I'm not the type of guy that watches like a Christmas movie every night. I can't do that.
No.
But if I'm doing like 1 or 2 a week. It's Home Alone 2 right there at the beginning. Like I talked about, I'm going to start a tradition, whether it be for myself or for my kids and family, the greatest Christmas pageant ever, watching that on YouTube. I love those. We haven't even talked about it. National Lampoon Christmas.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that because my relationship to that movie's changing a bit. I have to space that every few years.
Really?
Like, I think I've seen it, like... Of all the Christmas movies, I am sure I've seen that one the most. Because I went through a phase as a kid where I watched that movie like 5 times a week.
Okay.
Like, I would watch. And so I know that movie inside and out. And I get to the point where if I watch it every year, I don't find it as funny.
Sure.
And then I'll go a few years without watching it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is really funny.
Yeah. No, I see what you...
I still like it.
I mean, when you're talking about humor, like that is how humor gets us. It's delivery and it's timing.
Yeah.
Well, when you're mouthing the joke along with them, that eliminates timing. That eliminates, the spark of spontaneity of something funny that's being said. So when you know the dialogue of a movie, yes, it's like if you sat and you watched a stand-up comedian, a DVD of a stand-up comedian, you're dying laughing, and you watch that stand-up every single day for an entire month. It's not going to be funny. But it is funny. You've just dulled yourself to it. So I know what you mean there. Last year, for whatever reason, I didn't watch as many Christmas movies as I thought I was going to. I watched the Home Alones and I watched the Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. I didn't watch National Lampoon last year. That wasn't one that I watched. I did watch Elf, and I didn't watch my Muppet Christmas Carol. So that, like, kind of like how you're saying, like, if it's like crop rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that.
So I like this year, you just talked about the Muppets one that I want to look up, but I do want to like knock out some of those classics that I consider classics. But the classics, A Wonderful Life,
How have you never seen It's a
I've
Wonderful
never
Life?
seen it.
I think
I've never seen that. I've never seen Miracle on 42nd Street or 34th Street. I've never seen any, like, if it's a black and white Christmas movie, I don't think I've seen it. If it's like an old school color one, I don't think I've seen it. Like, those just didn't appeal to me like growing up.
Now, I will say, okay, Miracle on 34th Street, I haven't seen it in years. I remember liking it as a kid, and I probably am due to rewatch it. It's a Wonderful Life is one of the top 3 movies, period, for me. Like, I love that movie.
Okay.
And it's kind of my closer. Like, if you have Home Alone opening it, like, It's a Wonderful Life, that's the last one I'll watch at Christmas. And sometimes I don't even get to watch it till, like, right after Christmas. And it's just such a good movie. It has a reputation as being, like, people tend to think it might be sappy or something. That's got this weird reputation for that. Because, you know, it's every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Right.
It's a dark movie.
Well, that's what I hear.
Yeah, it is.
And so it wasn't until I got older that I actually heard the plot of the movie. Again, I grew up thinking it was some sappy Christmas movie, some Lifetime Christmas movie. So I didn't want to watch it. Then I heard the plot, read the plot, whatever. And I spent like all of last year, like, how do I get my hands on this? Because there's no video rental places anymore. It wasn't on Hulu. It wasn't on Netflix. So I was like, it wasn't on HBO, and those are the 3 streaming things that I have. I couldn't find it. So I wanted to watch it for the Christmas season. I couldn't find it. So
you know what's really weird about that too, and very ironic, is the reason that movie is popular is it fell into public domain for a while, and so stations would play it like on a loop. Like it made like no money in the theaters, and then PBS and NBC started playing it like every year, and it just became this Christmas staple. But now I think like Ted Turner owns it, so now it's harder to get. I like that movie a lot. It's like probably the best movie about prayer that I've seen, because it's all about people praying for George and how God intervenes. And
is George Jimmy Stewart?
George is Jimmy Stewart.
Have you ever heard my Jimmy Stewart imitation?
I have not, but I think we need to.
Hey there, how you doing there, Chris? Talking about how it's a wonderful life.
That is really good.
That
is
Jimmy
really
Stewart.
good. I am impressed.
I'm Jimmy Stewart.
That is really good. I am impressed.
Take that, Jared Collins.
Oh, does he do one too? Or?
No, but he always makes fun of my impressions, so take that one.
I applaud that.
Put that in your red kettle, Jared Collins, you Salvation Army officer.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to get into some controversial waters. Scrooged. I don't like it.
With Bill Murray?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while. I remember liking it, but I haven't seen it in a while.
I've tried like so many times to give that movie a chance, and it's just too loud and mean-spirited.
Yeah.
And it's just shrill. It like annoys me.
Okay.
And the other classic people love, and I can't stand, White Christmas.
I haven't seen that one.
Don't bother. It's like a 3-hour long musical, and it's just, it's so boring.
Really?
So boring.
You know one that came out of left field for me, and it's on Netflix, and if you go to the kids section of Netflix, I think it's called Pete's Christmas. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard of that.
It's with the kid. The main star is a kid who was on the first movies of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The main kid, and he's Pete. And basically, what it is it took like a Christmas movie and Groundhog Day, and it's my kids put it in, whatever, last year. I'm like, what are you guys watching? And they're like, oh, whatever, Pete's Christmas. And I started watching it like while I was like cooking, and it kind of I like got into it, and then we like watched it again for whatever reason. Like my daughter put it on like 3 months ago. I mean, it was summer, and she like played it, and it's like Groundhog Day. Like the kid wakes up and all these things happen to him in this day, and his life just sucks. Christmas sucks. He didn't get what he wanted for Christmas, and his brother's a brat, and his grandfather's like this shell of a man, and all these things. And this girl moves into the neighborhood, and she happens to move in like a week before Christmas or whatever, or the day of. And then he's like, today sucked. Like, today was the worst Christmas ever. And then he wakes up the next day, the radio's playing the same song.
Oh, really?
So it's like Groundhog Day. So he goes back through everything. So just as in Groundhog Day, he tries to figure out what he's doing and tries to figure out why he's in this every day. And it's a great movie. And
is it a comedy or more of a drama? Or?
No, it's a comedy. Like it's a kids. It's in like
movie.
it's a kids movie, like in the vein of like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid type movie. You know, I think there's some like gross. You know, maybe there's some like gross stuff in the movie. You know, some like rude humor, stuff like that. But overall, like I think it's a good movie, and that's probably one that will probably stay in my stable of movies that I kind of watch. So Pete, I think it's called Pete's Christmas.
Okay, I'll have to check that one. Speaking of Netflix, have you seen the Bill Murray Christmas special from a few years back?
No.
Okay, I had to warm up to this one, but he did. It's called A Very Murray Christmas.
Okay.
And it's from I think they just did it 2 years ago. He teamed up with Sofia Coppola, who directed him in Lost in Translation.
Okay.
And did this little special about him being in this hotel in New York where he wants to have his big Christmas special with George Clooney, but everyone's snowed in, so he has to make do in a hotel. It's basically this excuse for him to bump into Chris Rock and sing a Christmas song with Chris Rock. And here's Jason Schwartzman and his band, so they sing a Christmas song. And then there's a dream sequence where George Clooney comes on, him and George Clooney sing songs. And I at first, the first year I saw, I did not like it.
Okay.
Because it's not like this Bill Murray laugh riot. It's kind of, Bill Murray's kind of got that sad clown thing going on.
Yeah.
And it's more like that. It's just an excuse for them to have all these indie bands and stuff on. And I watched it again last year though, and I loved it.
Really?
Like the Christmas
and it's
music.
on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It was made for Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good. And that's where Miley Cyrus singing Silent Night came in.
Really?
She cameos at the end and sings that. It's
and
really
you say
good.
she does keep her top on?
She does keep her top on.
Okay.
But it's really good. It's like an old school variety special where this guy's just trying to have a good Christmas special, and here's all these special guest stars wandering through, and that works. And then Stephen Colbert did one a few years ago for Comedy Central, and I watched that every year. It was really funny. He's doing it in character. Same thing. He's trying to get to his Christmas special, but it's very overtly funny. And so it's Willie Nelson singing about the pot he was going to bring Jesus, and Toby Keith shows up to sing about the war on Christmas and stuff. And it's funny stuff.
Now, one that I never even knew existed, and my sister Sarah, her boyfriend Eric is a movie junkie. He's like you.
Okay.
You and Eric would get along great. Or you wouldn't, because your thoughts on movies. He loves...
You snob!
He loves just dirtball, horrible movies. and you're pretty... On the other end, you enjoy a good, well-made movie.
I have seen all 3 Jackasses in theater.
And so Eric has a copy of the original Star Wars Christmas special.
I have tried to watch that before.
Isn't that awful?
It is the worst. I told my wife once, because she's a huge Star Wars fan, and she's I like Star Wars. She loves it, and I was like, "This is gonna be great. We're gonna pull it up because it's on YouTube." And
is it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I saw it. No, you know what? I think he ordered it from somebody and actually got
you can get
copy.
copies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's watch Star Wars. This is gonna be great. We're gonna laugh at this so much. 5 minutes in, we had to turn it off.
It's so bad you can't let I think they're trying to get Chewbacca home to his family
for his family day or something.
Yeah, whatever his Christmas holiday is. And what's awful is here's Chewbacca in the movies, this amazing warrior and the best right-hand man anybody could ever have. I mean, Chewie is with Han till death do they part, as we found out in the last movie. Spoiler if you haven't seen The Force Awakens. And but here's Chewie, this just amazing warrior, and as the movies have gone on, as time has passed, I've gotten more and more respect, I guess is a weird way of saying it, but more respect for the character of Chewbacca. And you go back and you see this, and it's they got to get Chewie home, and he keeps doing a video conference with his wife.
Isn't it not subtitled either?
No, it is subtitled. Okay. And he's talking to his wife. So automatically it just ruins it because she's like another Wookiee in like an apron and she's like making Christmas dinner and like all his like kids, like his little like Chewbacca brat kids are like running around and it's all like horrible costumes. You know, it looks like community play costumes and it's awful. And like Mark Hamill, like they bring him in, and you know, obviously there's some Princess Leia, and
and I've heard like Carrie Fisher is like leading on desks the entire thing because she was coked out of her mind when she was doing it. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. But did you watch it the whole way through?
No, I couldn't.
I have heard there is this part where like Chewbacca's dad sits down and turns on like this holographic thing where this lady like sings a song. It's basically the gist of it is Chewie's dad is watching porn. and
Christmas.
Yeah, and like I've heard like 5 people talk about this movie, write it up, and they always come out, Chewie's dad is watching porn.
But I know Eric, like he watches these things and he gets into all like the, you know, the behind the scenes and he knows all these stories about all this stuff. And the thing that I was told that was, you know, told to me was that like Star Wars wanted this buried.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, they put it out in whatever 1978 or whatever this Christmas special came out and they were just like, pull it. You're like, this is never going to see the light of day again. And somehow it's made it onto YouTube.
Yeah.
And somebody recorded it somewhere.
I love the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Christmas stuff. With Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That's a great one. And then there's this other one I found a few years ago. I haven't seen that one, but there's one that they're watching, Mystery Science Theater, and it's Santa Claus versus the Devil.
I've seen that.
It's awesome.
I've seen that
It is
one.
so good. I think we are out of time.
Yeah, I think we are.
So this was I'm loading up my list for stuff to watch this Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
So this will be good. I do want to give a heads up to listeners. We will probably not be back until right after Christmas. So hopefully right before the New Year's we'll sync up, record something. But we're definitely going to take off a week or two, enjoy Christmas, let you guys enjoy Christmas without listening to us. And I think we're going to try and like kind of do some new fun stuff on this in the new year. So keep listening. Keep following us on Instagram and at crossculturecritic.com, and have a Merry Christmas.
See you.